I don't know when we're planning Vegas. I can't say for sure. I was thinking of the fall, possibly into 2022, but I don't know. Early stages of thinking about it right now. Got to find a venue. Got to find, got to find a good tattoo removal person that's willing to do it mobily
It
on
ain't gonna
stage.
fucking happen. So stop fucking trying to find anybody. It ain't going to motherfucking happen.
So we got to make sure that on stage we have all the accessories to remove a tattoo, and
Not
Perry has to
now, fucking
stay.
tattoo removal. I'm not going to Vegas. You son of a bitch.
Maybe we have to get a comfortable chair for Perry to sit in while he gets the tattoo removed.
It ain't
Um,
gonna fucking happen. You fucking bastard.
and maybe we
Good
have other
night. I'm
entertainment
turning
going on
this
at the
off
same
right
time.
now. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's gonna be shut off right now.
And while he's getting the tattoo removed, of course he can't move because that would be dangerous. So we got to maybe have something
Tattoo is not being touched.
to strap his arm in, and hopefully be comfortable. Maybe he could talk about something simple while the tattoo is getting actually physically removed from his arm, and we could see it in real time. Now, does anybody know out there how long does it actually take a tattoo to get removed or just airbrushed over? We don't have to do that much to it. Just a little airbrushing over, and then that heals. I think we might have to do two events because we the tattoo removal will be one. The follow up event will get at the
I'm
follow up
turning off
event
my fucking computer.
at
My
the
computer is being shut off right the fuck now.
at the
It's
follow up
not
event.
fucking happening.
So that's the first event.
The power is being shut off.
The
Good
second event
night.
is when Perry
And
gets the
fuck
tattoo
all of
replaced.
you.
So that's when we get Streamer placed over where Snowboarder once was. And oh, he turned it off. Oh well, there he goes. It will happen, by the way. Yeah, Mark, less than our average stream time, but I needed it. I couldn't do a 6+ hour one. So yeah. What do you guys think? Serious official poll. Serious official poll. And maybe Scott, you can run like a real one. Serious official poll, like not even joking. What do you think the chances are that he will get that removed? Like actually will sit down willingly, by the way. We're not gonna force him. It's not like a Clockwork Orange thing. Um, Susie's birthday's in November. Yeah, okay. So look, soft early plan for November in Vegas. Soft early plan for, I think it could be interesting. People are doubting me. I like that. 40, 60, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you guys. My guess is it's 100% happening. Cool. Well, yeah, so we got a lot of things. September, there's no way September is happening, unfortunately. The earliest it could happen is November. But there's a couple of things to celebrate in November. We got the 1 year anniversary of Perry Caravello Live. Also, with that, you have Perry's birthday. So we could celebrate his birthday. He hasn't celebrated a birthday in a long time. That's two. Also, Susie Hill's birthday. Three. And there's, wow, Scott's smoking a joint. That's rare. Good for you, buddy. Yeah, we'll do an official poll in a minute. But yeah, there's a lot of, and there was something else in November too. There's something else in November. I forget. And Vegas is apparently cheap in November, so that's cool. So yeah, we'd have to figure out. It's too bad the Hooters casino is there. I figure like the way I envision it is like an off strip type venue, that we can do and plan out. What am I wearing, Faster Blade? I'm wearing a Super Mario Brothers light blue shirt and shorts, gray shorts. No shoes. Mark says, I missed a lot of events. I would like to hang out with this crew and do some Jameson shots with Tom. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time too. It won't be just like the one, like whatever the night of the event. Let's say the event's on a Saturday. We could also do like a soft hangout on the Friday, and then also hang out on. It could be a whole weekend thing. How much is Nintendo paying me? I just got this shirt recently. Somebody got it for me. I don't normally get sponsored by Nintendo. And I'm wearing it to bed. It's not like I'm not breaking my rule by wearing the Nintendo shirt, but because I do like it, and I only wear it to bed. I would never wear it out. Cool. I'd love it if you guys actually came out. Is there a Hustler Casino? November will be the 19 and a half anniversary of 92 incident. That's true. That's true. There's a small chance I might be going to Vegas in August. And I say small chance because I don't know. Like a bunch of friends are going, and I was going to see some concerts there, but I'm not really motivated for it. Oh, Hustler Strip Club. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's also Do Not Nut November. Yeah, maybe downtown. I've never been downtown. Is Perry officially done with Big 3 content now? No, Perry will do Big 3 whenever. He's not the one to hold back on that. That's good. By the way, Dustin, I would love a Pete Rose autograph. I love Pete Rose. How much does Pete Rose charge for an autograph these days? It can't be that rare. He's signed so many. Much of downtown is gross. The new Circa is nice. Yeah, well, we won't be doing anything at Caesars. I don't think we could rent out the Coliseum. Ooh, poll is okay. The official poll is live. So, do you think Perry will get the? Do you think Perry will get the tattoo removed, willingly, of course, in the live event in maybe November in Vegas? Will Perry do it willingly is the question. Do you agree or disagree? Live wrong poll? What are the chances Perry eats a battery? I'd say probably 0. What's the poll? Who's wrong on the poll? Is it me or Scott? Am I missing something? I did have a couple of shots of Jameson, so. Oh, the poll is month people prefer. Sorry. Okay, we'll do that. What's the month you prefer? Sorry. Whatever. Scott's not wrong. I'm wrong. Scott hasn't been wrong yet. No, that's the right. He's right. I'm wrong. And then we'll do the other poll after this. I was gonna take another shot at Jameson, but I can't. Yeah, TomB is drunk and Scott is high. Watch out. The producer of Perry Caravello Live and the director of Perry Caravello Live are both completely 2 sheets to the wind. We're not. You said Lisa Marie is nuts. I couldn't say it. I didn't say that. I said what's her name is nuts. The Lisa Brando. Don't get Lisa Marie confused with Lisa Brando. Okay. Let's see the results. Here are the results. Wow. Okay. 74% 4% prefer November over December, October, or January. Okay, wow, that's pretty. That's pretty decisive. That's pretty decisive. All right, we're gonna, if that's the case, we're gonna have to start planning for it, pretty soon. If that's the case, if we're actually gonna do this, and I would really like to, I'd really like to do it. You're seeing Billy String in September in Vegas. You're seeing Billy String. If you can't fly, it'd be so great if Australians can come over. If you can't fly over from Australia because of lockdown, I would have to imagine that lockdown bullshit would be over by November. Is me and the JQA story off limits? I mean, it's not really the forum for it. I wouldn't say off limits. I just don't really care. New poll is live. Okay, this is the one. If Perry will willingly get the tattoo removed, or he won't. That's the new poll. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I would hope all this bullshit is over. I was actually annoyed when I went to California that I had to wear a mask. Well, he's got a huge blow-up text from Perry. The tattoo is not getting touched by anyone. 2 lines of exclamation points. Yeah, so when I was flying to and from California, like, you have to wear the mask thing in the airport, which I get, okay, whatever. But on the entire flight is rough. Like a 6-hour flight wearing that mask is rough. It's just fucking ridiculous already. And I'm vaccinated. I think if you're vaccinated, you shouldn't have to adhere to that bullshit. So hopefully that just stops. Yeah, the mask mandate ended here in New York a while ago. I don't wear it at all. I don't wear it even going to a restaurant. I do not wear it. And I think it's and nobody has said boo. $14 hours coming back from Kuwait. Jesus Christ. Did you really have to wear a mask for 14 hours? Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. Wow. God damn. By the way, I bought a new clickless mouse today. Did anybody notice? I went to the store and picked one up. Same one I had. Wow, Jazz, that's fucked, man. That's crazy. I'm sorry to do that. All right, let's see the poll results. Somebody outside my apartment, like on a deck close by, that's making a fucking racket. All right, the poll asks, will Perry get the tattoo removed and replaced willingly? And 56% say no. Okay. Well, I consider that a challenge. Maybe I'll mix up the clicks, Dank. Maybe sometimes I'll bring it back, sometimes I won't. Do you hear these fucking people? Just yapping and yapping and yapping. I gotta open the window, I'm dying. I don't know if you can hear these fucking people on the next. I guess they're like 2 apartments over, but we all have like my window faces a deck, and they're just chit chatting. But if you guys can't hear them, that's fine. Garrett, you haven't worn a mask in the past few days? Yeah, I still carry one with me. I still have one in the car, but I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing it. I'm over it. I'm completely over it. I did the right thing. I got vaccinated and everything, and now I'm just not doing it. $10K Perry. Yeah, I don't know what the price. Obviously, Perry would have to have a pretty good payday to do it, to get the tattoo removed. We all agree on that. I don't know what the price point is. Wow, little stinker, you work 10 hours a day in the mask. That's who I really empathize with. Is when I go to a restaurant, I go to the bar or whatever, and you see people, they're wearing the mask constantly. Yeah, like fuck, if you have to wear the mask 10 hours a day, my complete empathy and sympathy. I can only imagine, especially when you're carrying heavy shit. Like, I'm having movers come tomorrow, and if they show up in masks, I'm gonna like, guys, take the masks off. It's hot. We're all good. When is Perry getting the Brazilian? Probably in July at some point. We're putting that together now. I'm planning it. Mark, you highly recommend I watch The Watchmen, the movie? I've just never been that into it. Somebody's smoking weed outside too. I could smell it. How do you guys not hear this? Do you really not hear these people? Kimmel is from Vegas. Maybe a surprise appearance. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Some people prefer to keep Perry like their dirty little secret. TomB, how accurate is Everyone Loves Raymond? I'll tell you something. I've never seen a single episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. Is that supposed to take place in New York? Which story of my apartment do I stream from? In my giant apartment, the fourth story. How do you not hear this fucking lady laughing? Oh, you can't. Somebody's saying they can hear them. Very faintly. Should just tell them to shut the fuck up. Should get Perry back on here and have him scream at them. The rule in New York City is the entire staff is vaccinated. We aren't required to wear masks anymore, but we're waiting on the new bartender to get her second shot. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. Oh, long. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't watch any CBS fucking sitcom. No, so I never watched Raymond or King of Queens or any of that shit. Kimmel has a venue in Vegas. Maybe he can give you a good deal. I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. Where are you in Central New York, Chaz? I kind of agree with you. I can't. I'm more and more not being able to stomach New York City. I came close to actually last year. I was supposed to move last year. So the move I'm doing tomorrow was supposed to be actually a year ago. And before that, I was actually considering moving slightly upstate, but it didn't work out for various reasons. Did I watch? I've seen Family Matters. Like, I don't know. Like, I've seen it, but I didn't watch it regularly. No, it wasn't my thing. I always hated the Friday night lineup on ABC. Call those neighbors high desert whores. King of Queens is surprisingly okay, mostly because of Leah Remini's big old titties. Wow. Yeah, she's hot as long as she doesn't open her mouth. I hate her voice. Throw the dead laptop. I moved the dead laptop to the new place actually, because I still gotta. I'm gonna do a video of it where I open it up. I'm gonna open up the dead laptop and see all the caked on champagne, whatever. But I gotta get the hard drive out to just get some files off. So I'm gonna buy this the type of hard drive in these laptops is called like an M.2 SSD drive, so I got to get a reader for it, and then I'm going to remove it and just see how gunky it is, because it still smells like champagne. You got to put it up to your face, but it reeks of champagne. If they get loud, Mark, I have no problem yelling. That's the thing. I don't give a flying fuck about this apartment anymore. There's certain courtesy things that I would normally do that I haven't been doing. There are these big shopping carts that are very competitive. I don't know if anybody lives in an apartment. I don't know if you have these. They have shopping carts for on the parking garage, and therefore if you go shopping, you can put your stuff in the cart and bring it up to your apartment. Then you bring it back. And there's always a problem with people keeping them. And it's a super pet peeve of mine. But this week I've really needed them to move stuff back and forth. So I've basically there's 3 of them, and earlier I just took one. I just literally put it in the apartment, and because I need it in the morning, and I'm basically fuck anyone who needs this. I need it more. Oh, Perfect Strangers gets a pass. I did like Perfect Strangers. I think Perfect Strangers is grandfathered in though, because that came in kind of mid to late 80s, before the Friday night lineup was complete garbage. I do like Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers was the show. It didn't Family Matters get basically spun off that? I think didn't Harriet? Well, wasn't she a character on Perfect Strangers, and they spun that off? What does my day job consist of? It varies, and I still work from home. Yeah, I'm definitely working from home indefinitely. I do writing, and I do voiceover work, and a few other odds and ends. But this is creeping more and more into my. There might come a time where this is what I do full time. Perry Caravello Live. If all things go, in a way that I'd like them to go. If the channel really blows up, and all of Perry's debts are paid, and his cousins paid off, and we get to a point where it can become a viable option where I can just focus on this. That'd be great. But right now we're not there. Leah Memory was hot AF, especially in the beach episodes of Saved by the Bell. I never saw those. Wow, she must look pretty good back then. Yeah, I saw the Leah Remini documentary. We actually watched it together. Scott, Perry, and myself watched that whole documentary with Perry, via Zoom. It was one of the things that was very resonant with him, where he did absorb some of that. Oh, she was the elevator operator at Larry's work. Okay. Oh, Carl was on Perfect Strangers too. I haven't seen Perfect Strangers since it was originally on. It's not a show that gets rerun that often. It doesn't get shown. Matt Ryan, you never understood the allure of living in a city where you're shoehorned next to people you generally can't stand. Yeah, I've lived in the city. I'm not in New York City now. I'm outside of New York City, but it depends on where you are. There's definitely city people, and I've kind of become more of a hybrid the older I get. I did the city thing, and I'm kind of over it, but I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere either. What kind of car will Perry realistically get? Realistically, he'll get another Corolla. And I think we have one in mind for him already. because I would. This car is not long for the world. It's not long for the world. It's there's going to be a time. So I think like there's almost like a reservoir of funds, as Perry would say, for the car. Oh, Bluey Ripper, thank you for the gifted subs. I'm going to play that on Wednesday. Well, I could play it now, but I'll also play it on Wednesday. I don't know if the... Shut
Guys,
the
I missed
fuck
most
up!
of the stream. Did Perry ever tell the rest of the 1992 matter? Ooh, Vegas. Can Perry tell us a 15-minute set since he's a comedian?
It's fucking 1:40 in the morning. Bluey Ripper 150, thank you for the subs. Alright, I'm gonna say something, guys. I'm gonna yell out the window. Hey, can you guys shut the fuck up? Fucking loud cunt. Shut up! That felt good. It's going on and on and on. There's other people who fucking live here. I think we gotta go back inside now. You know, they got reported that this apartment that's like 2 people over, they got reported like a few months ago. They're having a big fucking party. The cops had to come. And I know the building next to me, the apartment next to me, is a guy that has to get up really early. And his bedroom faces the other thing. So let me see if they're still. I closed the window just so they could hear the sound of it, but I'm not. Yeah, they left. They left. Good. I'm not drunk. I'm stone cold sober. Takes a lot to get me drunk. I hate the sound. I mean, not to sound misogynist. I hate the sound of women cackling like that, like just on it without a care in the world. Like, here's the thing. I'm all for people being outside and like hanging out and shit, but buy a house. Do that in your fucking backyard if there's no people around you. When you like, so on the 4th floor we all have decks like facing out. Like you can go out on the deck, and some people barbecue, some people do. I don't barbecue or anything like that, but not in this place. But they're separated by these like fences, and I don't know, there's just like a common courtesy thing that you don't do that. Yeah, cackling in bars inside, respectfully, it's different, but it's like there's people here, it's like whatever. If I don't say something, no one's gonna say something, because I'm out of here tomorrow. What are they gonna do? They're gonna report me to the board? Fuck them. Here's another rule in this building too. Wait, hold on.
Fuck him too. If we can hear them, they are hella loud.
Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you live in a nice place, Scott. Not that I don't live in a nice place, but it's an apartment building. These people are really nice and respectful and courteous to one another, and I'm very respectful and courteous too. I really am. I'm a good neighbor to have, even though I don't really want to know my neighbors at the new place. Like, there was a nice thing when I was moving today. I had some Amazon deliveries delivered to the house, and the woman next door actually took the packages and moved them to the back because it rained yesterday. So while I was moving stuff in, she just came over and said, "Oh, I saw you had some Amazon package, so moved to the back." That was very cool. That was really nice and courteous, and I appreciated that. But I don't like people that aren't courteous to their surroundings. And when you live in an apartment, there's certain rules. There's just certain rules that you treat other people, like the person below you or something like that. You don't stomp around. You don't drop shit on the floor all the time, especially not at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you don't. You're considered rude if you don't stop and chat with the neighbors. Yeah, I basically want to be left alone. Like I was talking to somebody about like pandemic things that I'd like to see left over, like when as we progress. But like things that I like about the pandemic, things that have come about that I've liked, like going into a restroom and it being super clean. Keep that up. Even when I was at the hotel in California, they have this thing, I think this is all hotels now, where they don't have a cleaning service every day. Like they don't come in every day. Like there's no maid service every day to like, change the sheets and everything. It's every other day. But if you need towels, they bring you towels. I like that. Keep that. And then I was talking about the partitions. I don't know where everywhere else, but like here, like there's partitions at bars where there's like big, like almost borders between you. You go to the bar with whoever you're with, and then there's like these barriers elsewhere. And I was saying, I like that. And a friend of mine was like, "Oh, but then you won't, then you'll never meet new people at a bar." I'm like, I'm okay with that. I've met all the people I'm gonna meet at this point. I don't need to meet new people. But I like that. Let me see if I still have this up and running. Hold on. Does anybody, before I call this a night, hold on. I gotta do something here. Oh, okay. For some reason, the Streamlabs is just fucking taking up a crazy amount of. I need that GPU so bad. I need a graphics card so bad because I'm looking at the task manager here, and it's like Streamlabs is off the chart. It's like 87% right now, and it's really lagging for me. I don't know if it's lagging for you. But it's got the breakdown here of like the CPU, memory, network, and the the GPU is in red because of how hard I'm pushing it, and it's just like the basic graphics off the computer. So I that's my other goal for July. I think the goal for July is also to get like a merch thing set up, and go to details and test menu and right click prioritize. Yeah, I did that, but. I might just have to pay scalper prices. So crazy. Are they coming back in stock? Matt, you just look at some pictures of Class Action Park. It's not as bad as it seems. Not as bad as it seems. Hey, before we wrap for the night, which I have to do because I'm moving in the morning. Does anybody want to jump on a Skype call so I can? I'll call. I'll call because I have the Skype up and running from Perry. So, Scott, you want to jump on? Who wants to jump on? We'll just have a little chat before wrapping up, so it's not just me. I got to look into the thing too. Somebody was mentioning it either last stream or the stream before, but this thing about what do you call it? People that do the streams, they have two separate machines basically. One machine to actually just run the stream, and the other one to just process everything else. I might have to look into that. Don't read the number out and don't hang up if they mention 92. All right, I'll try not to. Oh, fuck. Where is this thing? So nobody's taking me up on that? Well, Scott actually knows the Skype. You can just literally just pop in. But he might be he might be enjoying his recreational activity. You had 4 380 GPUs? Wow, I bet you made a fucking ton off them. Oh, your internet's down. You could from your phone. Can you do Skype on your phone, Scott? Skype would sound better. You would do it, but you're scared. Don't be scared. Nothing to be scared of. Yeah, I didn't have Skype installed either, but Skype works best for us. For the purposes of the stream, it works best. I've tried Zoom. Zoom doesn't work as well. I'm trying to do this thing too because he still has that other camera, his previous web camera, and both are plugged in currently. And I was basically trying to do the second camera on Zoom and then this camera on Skype and then go from A to B, but it just wasn't working. I didn't have time to to fucking do it. We'll eventually too, when I'm set up at the new place and I have like the office set up, I think the best way to do the calls and stuff like that would be through Discord. I think that'll be the best way and incorporate the Discord with it. I'm very surprised in Skype though, because like they just like Skype's been around for like however long, it feels like 20 years or something, maybe longer. And then the one time where the whole world needs it and like really needs Skype, they just fell off the radar, and this other company came in and just now it's all everybody does is Zoom. Like how did Skype miss that ball? How did Microsoft miss that ball, I would say? Scott, are you dialing in? What's the hold up? You can either call me directly or go on Skype, and we can talk about our Vegas plans, and then we'll call it a night. Yeah, Skype. I agree. Skype is old and Skype sucks and blah blah blah, but it works for this stream. Perry gets the Brazilian on stage. Yeah, we'd have to like cover it somehow, but maybe. That's a long way to go. Oh, that's interesting, Mumbles. You recently listened to the Big Three podcast, Countdown to Midnight. Perry says he had to lay down one of her cats, and somehow now it's 2. Again, Perry's such a unreliable narrator. Well, those people shut up real quick. Like, it's quiet. It's so quiet outside now. I almost feel guilty, but almost. You can't call me. I have to call you. I know, that was so funny. Belushi Sushi. Tom, it was very rude of you tonight when you were looking for laptop advice and Perry gave you advice about speakers in the 80s. And I didn't even listen to him. I know, that was so out of nowhere. No, I don't really feel guilty. I said almost. Let me just make sure I'm on my regular account and not the show account. Yeah, I am. Okay. 'Cause I have a Perry Caravello Live account that we use for the stream. Bows are the ultimate. Bows are such trash. Like, like even like people that don't even know about, even if you don't know about anything audio, like people know that Bose is overhyped stuff. The only thing they do right is the noise canceling headphones, and they've even been trumped by other companies. Okay, I'll send you an invite. I think I sent that. Double check if I sent it. Fuck. Maybe I am drunk. Did that work? All right, hang on. Let me do this. Hey, you there, Scott? Hello? Hang on. Scott, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Let me make sure I'm doing this.
You there, buddy?
Oh, you there? Oh wait, I gotta share the screen, sorry.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
What about that? What about now? I had to share the screen.
Yeah, I got yours. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me just boost you up a little bit.
Nice.
Sorry. Hold on. I gotta redo this. This is Scott, everybody.
What's up, guys and gals?
Okay. Let me make sure. I had to put the headphones in so I don't get feedback.
Yes, Matt, I am. But it's kind of par for the course.
Did your internet really go down?
Yeah. I'm on just cellular data right now.
Oh shit. Okay. So what did you think of doing? The Survivor Sunday stream? I thought it was okay for a Sunday. Can you hear me? Did I just fucking lose him? That's cellular data. Scott, pop back in if you...
I gotta say, it's a lot of fun being involved in Perry Caravello Live, and you guys are the reason why it's so much fun. I regularly just sit back and laugh my ass off reading all your comments. Same with my girlfriend.
So let me ask you this, and let me know if I'm echoing, because I had to turn my mic on Skype for you to hear me. Can you hear me through Skype, or are you hearing me through the screen share?
Yeah, I hear you through Skype.
Okay, so let me know if my voice has an issue. I get this question a lot, and Scott is one of the first people that came to me about doing Perry on Twitch. So what was your exposure to Twitch originally, and have you had any prior experience on like launching a channel or anything like that?
I never had any kind of prior experience to launching a channel. My own personal experience with Twitch was I was exposed to Wings of Redemption years ago, who I've mentioned to you, Tom. And, I realized really quickly that there was a market for fans to interact and kind of troll people. I've had a love of Perry and Windy City Heat dating back to when it was first aired. I caught one of the back-to-backs on Comedy Central when I was in college with my buddies, and it kind of set off this love affair. Fast forward to now, I realized after watching some of these streamers get trolled that how perfect a venue that this would be for Perry. Along with that, I realized that Perry's financial situation and you're having to carry Perry. That's not an infinite thing, you know.
No, tell me about it.
And so,
Yeah.
and so I thought, you know, if I could merge these things together, and I could use a little bit of my own kind of business acumen in this, and marketing and understanding kind of what the fans would like, that this could be really successful. You know, and fast forward to, you know, whatever, 6 or 7 months later, I mean, we've grown so much from where we started, and
Yeah.
you know, it's something to really be proud of.
I think about
the fans.
I don't watch the old streams.
Made it amazing.
But look at some of the OnlyFans streams and how they play compared to the ones now.
Right.
And it's just Perry.
But those were so amazing in their own, because they were just so gritty and raw. And, you know, Perry reading the comments, and he would lose his shit, you know. And people who were smart would set up the comments where they would start really nice and and then wham, and it was just such a good experience. And it was out of those where I realized, yeah, we totally need to move him to a major forum like this, and you know, and look at now. So
there was a good question I wanted to see if your take on it. Just let me see if I can get it back. Oh, so Matt Ryan wants to offer you $20 if you go to your neighbor's house and tell her to shut the fuck up too.
I live in a home in a neighborhood, and I am surrounded by 2 elderly couples. Chances are they've been asleep for like the last 5 to 6 hours, and I probably would get a gun pulled on me. So I'm gonna pass.
Okay,
I'm gonna pass.
That's enough.
But no, there was another question in here. Let me.
Are the OnlyFans streams lost to time? No, they're all up on YouTube. They're all up on YouTube. Except the one we did lose. There's one we did legitimately lose, the second one. That one is lost. But all the other ones are up.
Well, and Tom, if you remember, too, the reason that we really, you know, I really wanted to push Perry onto Twitch. And the reason that I kind of talked you into it in the first place was because we, you know, the OnlyFans setup for live streaming wasn't archiving the streams correctly.
No, it was terrible.
And so
it was right a gamble every time.
The second stream, the infamous, you know, lost stream that everybody talks about.
Well, there was actually a couple of lost streams.
So we were just, there was a couple of lost streams. And we were using Twitch basically as a way to record it live and archive it. So I was literally on OnlyFans site, you know, window capturing the stream and rebroadcasting it.
Right.
So it was that was kind of the initial start, but then we quickly realized, like, why don't we just move over here and get lots of fans? And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. It was an interesting progressive. There was a question now that I completely lost. Oh, hang on. Oh, somebody asked about new badges. Not here, but earlier I saw. Is there new badges coming? We need to work on that too.
Yeah. So the next badge that will come will be your 6-month badge, and I'm not going to tell you the color of it, but it's there. You know that you're limited in the amount of badges you can set up. So, and if I remember correctly, there's like 1, 2, 3 month, and then it jumps to 6 months, and then it jumps to a year. You know, there's a lot of refinement that we want to do, you know, throughout the channel and throughout, you know, with the streams.
Does getting a partnership open up more badges and things like that?
That's a good question. I'm not totally sure. I would think so, because I've seen other streamers with kind of longer term badges. So I don't know. I'd have to read through the Twitch's book.
Somebody here says, this is a great stream. Glad I found it a month ago. And I think that's what I really like, is there's so many people are just finding it and like still hanging around.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get a list of the no phrases for the... Sorry to talk over you, Scott.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say the beauty of it is that there's... Perry is who he is. And, you know, he's consistently evolving and bringing new stories into it, and then the fans play off of that and create their own storylines. And as I've said for a long time too, you know, I personally believe the biggest boost to the stream has been incorporating you in the stream. You know, we started with the voiceover stuff, you know, and then we moved over into to TomB week. And I mean, how great was TomB week? Those
Wow.
were some of the best shows we've ever done. I mean, that's how
I like the
feel.
Wednesday
I've seen
and
every
the
minute
Sunday
of every
show.
one.
I wasn't so big of a fan of the Friday show on TomB Week, if I'm being honest.
You know, and and everybody should know the biggest critic of all of this stuff is Tom. He's very critical of himself. So the nice pats on the back that I read are they go a long way. But even a show that we're not super proud of is still a damn good show, and it still brings 100 to 300 new followers, and there's a lot of good stuff. Wow, more gifted subs.
Yeah, I
Thank
just
you,
saw
Bluey
that. Bluey
Ripper.
Ripper. Yeah, he sent another batch earlier. Well, to that point, I remember you encouraging me to be on the streams more, and I was very not opposed to it, but weary of it because I know Perry needs assistance on the stream for sure, but I wanted to find the right balance where it was still Perry being Perry, and I didn't want to, so there was, it's hard for me to even remember now, like, how did we do New Year's Eve? Was New Year's Eve all him, or was I on speakerphone? Like, how did that work? I don't remember.
New Year's Eve was, New Year's Eve, I don't even think you and I were on the phone together. It was all Perry.
No, you were on Messenger. Because I remember I was a little worried when he had that Satan's blood, and I was like, oh man, maybe we should just kill it here. And you were messaging me like, no, keep it, it's fine. And you were right.
I believe my words were, don't be a pussy.
That's exactly what it was.
We're going to push forward through this right now, but in the most loving way possible. But yeah, that was a tough moment. That was a really tough moment for us.
Yeah, it was rough, but then a couple of things happened after that. Then Perry opened the infamous Christ Jesus painting of him sitting on Christ Jesus' lap, which was the rebounder, and then Shark Boy showed up.
Yeah, that, and I remember vividly us discussing too, like that really turned the whole stream around. I mean, Shark Boy's visit, and remember too, at that point we were still using Perry's setup through TeamViewer, so it was really choppy.
That's right. Yeah, it was running through Perry's computer.
It just so happened that like the pinnacle, the peak time that the quality needed to be good when he got on screen, it was, and you could actually make out what Shark Boy was doing with Perry, and Perry, yelling at Shark Boy, and and of course that painting, which really set off a whole cavalcade of other really cool paintings and stuff.
Yeah. That was the thing. So anyway, but the progression from then to now, it was just, I never wanted to be like a co-host, but that's almost what it's become.
Yeah, and I think it was a natural progression, like we talked about, and I think it needed to happen because there has to be a foil to Perry, and there has to certainly be somebody there to keep him in check at certain points, and that's natural. And here, I think most everybody who watches the stream, certainly after TomB Week, knows, Tom has really good comedic timing, and Tom knows how to capitalize on situations, and so having that in play as well is huge. It's huge. So it's some of you just being there to wrangle him a little bit, but it's also there because you enhance the whole situation. So that's my opinion.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but my thing is, I always go back to listening to other things where there was, let's say, a interesting character, a person that interests you, and I go back to Eric the actor on Howard Stern, and he was, he's come up a couple of times in tip comments and stuff. Anyway, there was a point in time when on Sirius, Howard Stern had this second channel, and they gave him his own show at one point, and I was like, oh, I couldn't wait to tune into this. This is really interesting. And then there was this other guy co-hosting with him, and I was like, who's this fucking guy? Like, I just want to hear Eric. And then you realize, oh, Eric can't do this by himself. He's not going to say anything. He's just going to sit there. You need somebody to, prod him, and that's the thing. So, but it was a progression, and I'd be interested to see where it is 6 months from now. That's it. Where we go and what the live show is going to be like, because I think that has to happen.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited for what the future holds as far as from a technical aspect and from a content aspect. There's so many things that we want to do that we're kind of handcuffed on right now that we can't do, whether it be additional camera angles, whether it be live interviews, whether it be Subscriber Sunday could eventually become us piping in subscribers into the stream to do video chats. Who knows? And that opens up a whole nother set of things to interact with Perry. But if we know anything, it's at this point 6 months or so into what we've been doing. And if you looked at day one and you looked at now, we have really gone a huge distance in what we've created. And 6 months from now, I expect us to be even more polished and even more enhanced. And again, that all goes back to, that's not just you and me and the moderators, and Perry, that's the fans. That's everybody who watches the show, who sends in tip comments, who starts and pries at these storylines and creates more additional content. Just like simple things like Ricky Horney.
Right.
That's just, who Ricky Horney is just this thing that just popped up out of nowhere a show ago, and look what it has created. So, that's what I love about this. That's what I love about what we do. And I can't wait to see where we're at in a few months' time.
To the technical aspect is also with the 3 shows a week, it's hard to even, and both of us have, outside things that to commit to. So
sure,
it's hard to really dedicate, because I think even as well as we put together things now, there's better ways to do it. Like, I want to see what better options for even porting Perry in if I'm running the stream. Like, there's got to be a better option than Skype. There's got to be some dedicated, like I know for radio they have like dedicated ISDN lines where they could pipe somebody in, but as far as video, there's got to be an easier way to do that. But I think what I fear is it's going to be something that eventually takes us away from Streamlabs, and we're so comfortable with Streamlabs. But I think from my cursory searching of it, is a lot of stuff takes away from Streamlabs. If you're doing things remotely, like one person on the stream is in this location, the other person is that location. Discord's good, but they don't do video. So
Discord, and I saw that comment too. And not to interrupt, Discord is a great tool. There's some technical limitations with Discord. We can do video, but it kind of what we do, at least with how we pipe in Perry's stream right now, we really kind of we did this, and Streamlabs Discord told us this would never be possible. That we couldn't figure out how to make this work and be successful with it. So, two things. I do think there's a point where we will have to switch software. Tom and I have talked about that. I love Streamlabs. It's super good. It's super robust, allows us a ton of control. But there are so many things that we want to add to the mix, not to be redundant, but, additional camera angles, all that kind of stuff, that we do need to go to a more traditional streamer setup, which will probably be 2 PCs that are controlled remotely from Perry's place, multiple video feeds. That'll allow us to run in true 4K and run, 1080 all the time or better. And give that same kind of polished stream quality that most high-end streamers have. Yeah. And so this is where we want to go.
I sometimes browse around Twitch and I look at other streamers, and their production level is so amazing. And I'm proud of our production level for what it is. It's amazing that we can do what we do, but I would love to kick it up those few notches, but it's gonna take work. It's gonna take money. It's definitely not cheap to do it right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have a graphics team to build scenes, and I would have all these things at our whim, but we don't. That's not us. And And frankly, I don't really think that should ever necessarily be us, so much of what this is it's Perry, right? It's Perry's, it's where he lives. It's, his reaction. It's, he is the focal point. So, we can do as much as we want, but we need to keep it true to the element of what it really is.
And what it really is, to that point, is, and I've heard people ask, like, oh, even moving Perry, like, let's say bringing Perry to my place, let's say, for, Perry comes to New York and we do a couple of streams from my place, which is fine, but Perry outside of his apartment, and he's no longer, I think what makes his apartment and really our set, and why I don't think he would ever be in a studio doing it, is he would, if he went to a studio, there's no stakes there, because he just sits there and he's going to be, this isn't his desk, this isn't his anything, it's just a studio he goes to. When he's in his home, that's his home. Right. And he's ridiculously protective of every little thing. Like, I went in there the first day of TomB week, and that Wednesday, I went in there, we set up, and I was at the desk, and he has these pens at the table, and I was writing something, and I just needed to, what was I writing down? It might have been his Wi-Fi password or something simple. And I was writing something down, and I just had reached in to take it, and he charges me from across the room. He's like, hey, motherfucker! Hey, motherfucker! And I was like, what? He's like, you need to ask. And I was just like, what? But that's him. He's protective of, like, a pen that he probably took from Chase Bank in 1997. So it's ridiculous. And so, but I think if you take him out of that environment, those protective natures that kind of set him around. I mean, take a look at that stream from 2 Sundays ago when all the people, when Tony Hawk and all of us were in the apartment. When he's in front of the camera, his eyes are darting around like the Terminator all the time. He's scanning, like he doesn't, he's so ready to, rage out. And I don't think you'll get that if he's at my place, you'll get something, but it won't be the same.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, his apartment is a living, breathing character as much as he is, and I think you're right. I mean, I do think
unless
down
he moves
the road, should he have to move or something like that, I think it's not something we want to really even have to consider. But I think we'll still get that same reaction. But you're right. If you were to move him out of there now, I do think another Mobile Monday type thing. I think we did that. If you remember, Tom, we planned out Mobile Monday, like literally probably like 2 hours, maybe longer, 3 hours before we were supposed to go live.
Right, because that was a week we were doing different days. We were doing Monday, Wednesday, Saturday that week, and we wanted to do something different.
Yep. Yeah, we were busy trying to test out what days would be.
And he went over, and also the crab place, whatever it was called, he went over there early, and we were both on the line, and we both talked to the manager saying, hey, would this be okay to do? And they were super cool about it, but that tune changed as soon as he was.
Yeah, they were super cool at that time about it, and then everything kind of went sideways. But still, probably one of the top 5 streams for most people. But one of my personal favorites when the McDonald's showed up at the
big
crab
moment.
place. I mean, that was just a moment. I mean, there's so many little moments we've had. That was a serious moment.
I'll tell you what, when we were doing the adult swim shoot, the guy, Zach, who was the co-creator of the show Smiling Friends, and he was the director, and he's the guy that wanted Perry based on these streams. When the chat came up about Perry Caravello Live, that was his first thing to say. He's like, and he knew the name of the stream. He didn't just say, oh, the one where Perry was outdoors. He goes, oh, Mobile Monday. He goes, when are you doing another Mobile Monday? Mobile Monday was brilliant. And then his friend that came with him, and this guy works at Netflix, is producing things for Netflix. He knew about it too. He's like, oh my God, when the McDonald's delivery came over, that was so amazing. He's like, you guys got to do another Mobile Monday. And I was like, okay. Well, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we know how to do it, obviously, but having the right tools to be able to do it is difficult. And, the environment's a big wild card. And at that time, too, we were kind of, California's been very
lockdown.
They've been handling the lockdown in their own way, right? So
Yeah.
it was really difficult to contend with that. Now things are obviously opening up some more, but you do want to have a certain element of like IRL streaming with Perry. I think that's something that we still haven't even scratched the surface on, because we all know how it is to interact with Perry. But when you put Perry in the wild and you watch other people react to Perry, I mean,
Right.
that's a whole nother kind of thing to watch. So I'm excited to go that route too. I know we're going to.
And also,
I just know that we've just got some more planning to do.
Right. And also the different environments take into account too, because one of the things I thought is, like, if you have the stream running on, let's say, his phone, or even maybe even we get him like an iPad or something like that, where he has a bigger thing to carry around with him and he could see the chat. But it's more about playing the comments, and then for instance, let's say he's in Costco. And now we did a early test stream with Costco, but let's say he's in there and the volume's up loud and everybody around him can hear the TTS voice, if it's like Amy, let's say, and then he's screaming in Costco with other people looking, or what are the other environments? Is it restaurants? How many environments can you realistically do? Is he clothes shopping? Is he in a mall? Where do you go with it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think there's a few there that we know would be great if we could do them, like Costco and stuff like that. But also, I think that falls kind of right back into the laps of the fans who, have some great suggestions. So much of what you guys, the things that you say and the things you mention, that never falls on deaf ears. And Tom will tell you. I mean, I particularly read comments just to kind of get a litmus on how everybody feels about the stream, or suggestions, or ongoing storylines, things like that. So a lot of that content is fed by you guys, and it will continue 100%. To be fed by you guys, because the fans are the lifeblood of Perry Caravello Live. This is nothing without the people who support it, and certainly myself, Tom, and the moderators are very cognizant of that. I don't know about Perry.
No.
I don't know how cognizant he is of that, but he's obviously in a slightly better financial situation right now, and hopefully that will
not according
continue.
to him, because tonight, I forget what the comment was. It was pretty early on, and he was something like, first of all, he said his rent was under $1,000, which really infuriated me, because I'm like motherfucker, you haven't paid your rent in 4 years. You don't know what your rent is. And what is, I forget, I don't even remember now. It's like 13 or something, 1250 or something. Anyway, that's with all the maintenance thing. But he was saying that, and he's like, I don't know, like, really, you don't know? He went to Costco the other day, and just went. Like, he sent me a text. He's like, yeah, I had to go to Costco and buy a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, well, that's nice. You were able to do that, and you were able to go. I mean, as opposed to, again, we're at the 21st of the month now, at least for me. And this is around the time of the month where he'd be completely out of money, begging me for money, and now he just can get something whenever he wants, which is great.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've learned about Perry is he invents things to do, and so he invents trips to Costco, and invents things. He needs to go get vitamins, or he needs to go do this, or
and he'll go to Costco several times a week for different things.
He doesn't fill his day with a lot of stuff, as people know. So he invents all these trips, and a lot of it is central to spending money. That's the flip side of it. And so, it's nice to be able to, he's earned it, right? I mean, I think we would all agree that he has earned his keep, through this process. Absolutely. Somebody asked me, says, does the stream stress Scott out? Yes, the stream stresses me out. Not as much as it used to, because we've got so many checks and balances in play as far as like
I can remember a couple of really nervous Scott moments. There was one time where
I still
Perry
get nervous, man. I still get nervous. I was nervous when West Most was on the phone, tonight, But the other thing I know is that I think all the fans know how to walk the line as far as what's okay, what's not okay, and the moderators are there to kind of police some of the things. And then we've done a pretty darn good job of controlling some of the content, so we don't have to worry about homophobic or racist or transphobic stuff
Right.
coming through on comments. So
And that's an element.
because Twitch is not Twitch is not an entity to be messed with. I can promise you. And I'm sure you guys have seen that. They don't mess around. They will shut you down very fast. And while we do have kind of secondary outlets that, if the worst came to worst, that we know we could use and we're planned for, but we don't ever want to go that way. We want to keep it with Twitch and YouTube.
Right. Scott, how do you wrangle 100 plus moderators? Belushi Sushi wants.
Very carefully. For me, it's there's two guys that take the place of 100, and with Hero and Joey, and they do a phenomenal job. And they picked up slack, when I can't be around, or I have to show up late for a stream or something like that. I mean, I can always count. And these guys manage all the subscriber stuff, like phone calls and whatnot. They manage all the offers. They keep a good dialogue, like communication with Tom, going the whole time.
Right.
So I couldn't be more grateful for what those guys do.
Yeah, me too. They're really the backbone of the whole channel. Somebody asks, TomB, how do I feel about people who meander in and say that I'm exploiting Perry? It's clearly people that just don't get it, because this is a very unique stream, and if you see this for the first time and you don't know what you're looking at or what you're getting yourself into, I could see how that could appear that way on the outset, unless you know everything that's going on. But it doesn't bother me. I've got a very thick skin. It doesn't bother me. It's just it's obviously not true. And Perry, ask Perry's cousin Mark, who basically handles his accounting and has been very supportive of the channel. Perry's life is infinitely better since starting Perry Caravello Live, because again, the bottom line is, I was basically tapped out. Somebody says Perry was exploiting me. I mean, that's not true either, but I was tapped out. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't financially support him anymore. I was my back was broken, so I needed something to help with that and to take care of things. He without getting into too many his personal details, he owes a lot. It's not just me. I'm not the only one who carried him. His cousin did help. I shouldn't say carry. His cousin did help early on, and that's really the first person that I want paid back, because he's not involved in any of this, and he deserves to get his. I had promised him at one point, like, hey, listen, we will find a way to pay you back. So as far as Perry being exploited, and also Perry's not the best salesman for himself either. When he's going like, you guys are abusing me, or you guys are this, because what you don't hear is the next day where he'll like text me, or he'll wake up, he'll see how much money he made, and what's in his account, what's on his Venmo card or whatever. And he's very happy. He's like, last night was a great stream. I was very, very happy with it, So when people say he's not grateful, whatever, he does get that way, but you don't always see it on the stream. But anyway, to answer the question, it doesn't bother me. I would just hope that people who feel that way would stick around a little bit and kind of get the gist of what's going on. And also, what I really love are the comments. They come around once in a while, but sometimes, and again, it goes to the thoughtful nature of some of the viewers, subscribers out there, is you'll see him reaching out, and towards the end, it'll be like, hey, Perry, we love you. We like having fun with you. We sometimes, push your buttons, but just know that we love you. And I really love those comments, and they do resonate with him. On sometimes, if he's in crazy baby mode, it might bypass him completely. But that's the sentiment I really like. That's the heart of it too. Yeah, everybody in this community is very cool.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tom. I was just going to say, on that same note too, I think the most recent swatting event was just kind of a solidifying moment, because, and I read somebody in the chat made a comment, said something about, look how we all circle the wagons to protect, our ape, so to speak. And right. It's true. After that event happened, everybody got very, very protective for that period of time, and they were very concerned, and it was a moment that just showed that our infatuation or obsession with Perry isn't just one of being mean to him or taking advantage of him. That's not at all what we do. We have I know that a large portion of us have a deep love for the guy, and even me personally, I've always really appreciated how much humor he brings into my life and other people's lives.
Sure.
But I've been afforded the opportunity, the luxury to kind of get to know him a little bit, and I think once you get to know him a little bit too, he's even I want to choose my words carefully, but he really is. He's a warm, lovable guy. He is, and he means well for people around him. And those type of people are few and far between nowadays.
Yeah, well said. Well said. I think there's and that's the thing that a lot of people don't see, and nobody wants to come on here and watch Perry be lovable and warm for 6 hours.
Right, right.
And I think that's sometimes, when he starts out with all the best intentions, and he could be like, welcome to Subscriber Sunday. How's everybody doing out there? And it starts out super high and happy, and then you cut to the end of the night where he basically literally shut off his computer tonight. Like, that's how the stream ended. He shut down his computer.
Yeah, every stream is the same way. I love when people do like the kind of before and after photos, which is a a screenshot from the beginning and then a screenshot from the end, and it's perfect. It shows. And tonight I knew it too. I was thinking about it tonight because he came out in such a good mood, and he was Johnny Carson up the crowd and everything, and then by the end he was literally shutting the fucking computer off. He was screaming at the top of his lungs from the kitchen about not messing with his tattoo.
Yeah,
the tattoo. That's how we wrapped. So it's perfect.
He's been in such a good mood today, this weekend, because he's the other thing is he did a completely he had a shit ton of cameos because it's Father's Day today, and he was banging those out today. He was in a good mood about those, obviously, because that's money in his pocket, but he was taking that seriously. I think somebody on Instagram sent him a positive note about, the streams or whatever, and he was in a great mood. And then I totally had a little pep talk with him before the show. I was literally driving back here, and I was running late, and I was dripping with sweat. I was so hot. It was like 90 degrees today and humid. I'm moving stuff back and forth all day. This was my last run. I'm coming back, and I was like, Perry, please go easy on me tonight. We need to have an easy one. Need to have a smooth one. And for the most part, it was.
Yeah, and I think people realize, but the 3 days a week, which that originally started, because that's what Twitch wanted us to do. The original idea. I remember you and Perry both saying, okay, well, we're gonna do the 3 days a week, and then we'll cut it back. And that whole time, right. I'm just thinking, there is no way we are going to go back from 3 days a week. We are going to continue with this. And it's hard work. It's hard work. The work that you guys put in, it's not hard work for me necessarily, but for you two guys, we've been averaging 7.5 hours per show. So it's not just a quick bang bang and you're off. It's there's a lot that goes into that creatively and managerially, and so my hat's off to you guys, because there's a lot of times when I get to go to bed and you're still going.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. The other night I thought I was, because I do like doing the after hours thing, because I think like we can talk about different things and we can kind of chill out or whatever, and I will say the time goes by really fast on some of these like 6 hour streams. It doesn't feel like it, and that's the feedback I get from other people. I've heard from a lot of people that have even taken road trips, like serious road trips, like San Diego to San Francisco or something. There was one long California coast trip that somebody said, I got in my car just as the stream started, and it was ending as I pulled up to my hotel, and you got me through the entire trip. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Can you imagine that? But yeah, they fly by. It doesn't feel like the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And for me, What I love, when I have a commute to work that's, let's just say 30 minutes on a good day, 40 minutes on a bad day. And that's what I do. I put audio only on Twitch or YouTube typically, because I'll just watch the stuff from the night before that's been archived and, or listen to it. And yeah, I mean, it makes my commute, I never get tired of it. I basically don't use Spotify anymore. I just listen to our streams. Which leads me to the idea of wanting to have an audio only version of what we do, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, so there was a couple of things and we can wrap on this, but I always say we can wrap on this, and then it's another 2 hours. But I really need to go to bed. I have fucking movers coming at like 8. But the audio only thing I thought about, like, yeah, and again, it was easier to think about when they're not as many as there are. There's so many of them now, and I do save the audio version of every single stream. And as to your question, they are archived the next day for us on YouTube, but I put them up on Patreon Caravello. And I know I'm tremendously behind on uploading to YouTube. That falls 100% on me, and I will catch up on that once I'm in the new place and I have full time to devote to that, because I haven't, again, with all the things I have on my plate and also, working other things. It's hard, and plus doing this 3 nights a week for 6 hours, it's almost impossible to find the time to do that, but I will. And but what I was saying is, yeah, getting an audio only version of Perry Caravello Live and just putting it up on iTunes or just throwing it out there, that's an idea, because some people do like that. And the other thing I was thinking of is people, I don't know why, but people have been asking me about, how do you see the after hours streams, because I can never stay up for it. Well, yes, they are on Patreon attached to the stream, because all the streams go up on Patreon credenza level the next day in full. But I was actually thinking of uploading right when and I'm getting to the point now with YouTube, and the last one was April, if you can believe that. But the next one I think I have to put on YouTube has maybe the first after hours, and I don't want to put up after hours on Perry's channel, but I was thinking of maybe putting it up on mine separately, and then put a tag on it like, hey, if you want to watch after hours, you could jump over here, because I don't want to confuse the two with Perry's thing.
Yeah, and Belushi Sushi, I totally agree with you. The look on Perry's face. In some of the earlier streams when Tom was solely in Perry's ear, and he would be telling, Tom is telling him, like, sit down, pay attention, whatever it might be.
Stop.
But when Perry was like super hot, like super angry, and Tom's trying to talk to him, and his eyes would grow like 3 times the size of what they normally are. Those were my favorite moments, because I'm listening in on those calls, and I just get to see Perry's reaction without saying anything, but just watch him just get so infuriated that his body literally like morphs in front of my eyes. It's really a hilarious thing.
Yeah, you can get the whole look is like he gets the pursed lips where he's like biting on his lips and his eyes bulge out like a cartoon character. And it's like if you go back to some of the early streams and he's doing that, that's me in his ear being like, shut up, stop talking over the tips, stop touching your ear, stop doing this. My YouTube is just Tom Brennan. I'll put it out there eventually, but I'll put up the some of the after hours streams on there. And somebody else says, Tom, I really like the after hours stuff almost as much as the actual stream. When you're settled in, will you please set yourself up with the camera so we could feel more like we're all hanging out? The answer is definitely yes. I will do that. I have to get this whole office thing set up before I can do that. But yes, I'm going to do that. And I was actually thinking, like, I don't know, and maybe this is a question more for you guys, do we take after hours to a separate channel, or we just keep it here? Because part of me was like, if somebody tunes in and sees Perry Caravello live and then it's just me, I don't know if that's as effective or not, or false advertising.
Yeah, I like the fans' take on that as well too. My opinion is, I told you this, we don't create two channels. I think it stays with us, but I'd like to see what the fans think.
Because then you're asking people to
totally
subscribe
agree
to
with
a new
you,
channel
Mumble
too.
Slam and Defiant P. One of my favorite moments was when he threw himself over the couch on his belly and he was kicking his legs because he was so mad. I don't remember what got him so upset. It might have been a fish. But
what was that?
Oh, that was such a good moment.
Which one was that?
He was standing in front of the kitchen table, but he was so angry that he literally was like pumping his fists, and he threw his belly over the top of the couch, and he was like balancing on his belly on the couch, and he was kicking his feet almost like his hands and feet like a toddler would do, but he was kind of like his belly was a fulcrum like on the couch.
Wow.
He was balanced. It was a serious moment. That's something we should put on TikTok.
Yeah, I forget what the catalyst for that was.
That might be a good idea, Rick Vember.
That's
change the title.
Yeah, and Scott's good at the changing title thing. Is when you see the title changing constantly, especially when you have a very active stream where there's a ton of offers, and it's like Perry microwaving 10 apples, or Perry something like grown man playing a ghost in the hallway or something, whatever it is. The title's changed and it does attract. So I think that's the way to go. When After Hours starts, I'll change the title. I don't always remember to do that, but that's probably the way to go. That's probably the way to go. Ooh, and I think that's the other thing too, is I hate other channels or other shows that think that they have all the answers. And I think what's good about us and the way we've handled things is we really absorb feedback really well and take that into consideration. And obviously we have our own ideas and put it together, but I think that's why you always want to evolve and to turn it into something different.
Yeah. And I mean, we're super lucky because, and I read it on an independent forum today, actually reading about our stream on another forum, and what they were saying, and these are people speaking objectively about our channel, and they were saying, Perry has a relatively small follower base of like 4,000 people, but his engagement is through the roof. He gets 600 to 700 people watching him at a time, and it's because we have such engaged fans that are so involved and take it so seriously that we get such good feedback that we can digest and figure out what the best way to kind of implement is. And, whereas you might have other streamers who have 100,000 followers but have 400 or 500 people watching them at a time, that, the ideas that those 400 or 500 people have aren't really going to breed any great change in the channel, whereas we're super lucky because we have such good involvement that we get great feedback and we act on it, and so keep spouting off your opinions because they do matter.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, even negative criticism is good criticism. This is a guy that just PM'd me about saying about how I forget, he writes this whole long thing here. Basically, he's got all these things to say about YouTube, and he was in the chat just going over and over again. Is like, you guys aren't growing since no videos on YouTube. Yeah, we get it. And he wasn't banned. I just think the comment was removed from the there's a thing where you can hide somebody from popping up in the chat because they're just spamming and saying the same thing over and over again. But I'll just read you what he says here. It says, look at your subs and viewers since you stopped uploading streams to YouTube. It hasn't changed, and that's because you're monetized too early to get 2K plus average viewers. Blah, 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 isn't enough to work you're putting in, and people don't watch random YouTube stream. They don't understand. You guys are putting in a lot of work. Make it count, man. Yeah, I totally get that. And obviously there's a lot of things at play there. Number one, YouTube is not a monetization platform for us. It does not earn a lot because when things go up on YouTube, even the archive streams, they are immediately flagged for profanity, no matter what. And once in a rare while, one will get through where it wasn't flagged, and it's like a miracle. But they're immediately demonetized. So it's for me personally, I've had such limited time to deal with everything. And again, I am admittedly a bit of a control freak when it comes to editing things, and I don't delegate as well, except with certain areas. But I will say, with everything on my plate, not to make excuses, I have this major move coming up. I've had that trip to California come up. My dad's not been doing well. I've got other personal issues going on. I've got other work to do. There's a million things on my plate. And the truth is, with the YouTube versions of the streams, I used to very aggressively edit them. Like, every time the fucking guy would get up to pee, I would trim that down, whatever. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm pretty much leaving it as is. The only thing I'm doing is I'm correcting sound, I'm adding in ring footage, I'm correcting stuff. If there's a problematic tip comment that comes up, maybe I'll edit it or something like that. If I say something stupid where I thought I was muted or something like that, I might cut that out, or little things like that. But I haven't been able to do it. I just haven't had the time to do it. And there's a lot of them banked. There's a lot of them completely uploaded and ready to go, but I want to do it in chronological order. So once I get settled, and I know I keep saying this, I will be putting them out. And I think the ideal lag time behind with YouTube as compared to the mainstream is it should be about 3 to 4 weeks behind. It's never going to be 100%. It's never going to be like, oh, here's a Sunday night stream and it's Wednesday on YouTube. That's not happening. So I've had to prioritize Patreon, Twitch, and the things that generate actual revenue that I need to pay bills and take care of Perry and all that stuff. And YouTube just wasn't the priority. YouTube's more of a promotional machine. It's not a revenue machine. So, but I will, obviously it's a big part of our puzzle. And even the Adult Swim people were asking, when are you going to upload a new thing to YouTube? And they were complimenting on the the thumbnails. They were like, oh, you guys got great thumbnails and all things like that. So in answer to the YouTube thing, that will be taken care of. We just got to catch up. July is my month to catch up on a lot of stuff. The other thing, and I know I've said this before, but we'll end on this, the thing that we really have to address in the Perry Caravello Live universe is merchandise. That's a glaring omission from this model that we need to work on 100%.
Yeah, and obviously something we've talked about before, and how great would it be for anybody out there who wants to buy a poster or Perry with Jesus, or Jesus has Perry's back, something like that. I mean, there's a lot of things we want to do with that, and there's definitely demand for it, and we know that you guys all want it. It's a matter of, I wish this was full time for me, and Tom does too. It's and I'm sure the moderators do too, and I know we're going to get to that point. But until then, and Tom does. He really I don't know how you make enough time. I don't know how you make time for your life. I really don't.
You don't sleep.
With the amount of time that you spend on the streams, and then the amount of time you spend, because this is just a small piece of the puzzle. Because think about Cameo, think about Patreon, think about some of these other things that he manages, that he does really well. And then on top of it, to go back and try and edit 8 hours of footage 3 times a week, and they just keep stacking up. So it's it's definitely a tall order, and it's not something I've encouraged Tom. I've encouraged him for us to get an editor, and he just and this is one of the things I like about him is he won't do it because he is protective of the material and the channel and Perry and how the world sees him and sees us, and that's I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I have this perfectionism curse, which is it's a gift and a curse. But we have Garrett now who does clips and stuff, and he's offered to help edit the main streams. But I have a hard time giving that up because I also, there's a way to edit Perry. It's kind of an art form in a way, like even with his videos or something like that. There's a way to do it, but there's less things to be concerned about, because that New Year's Eve stream was a nightmare, and I really tried to get that done as quickly as possible, but that was 10.5 hours to go through, and I wasn't taking notes at that point. I had to go through it in real time, and trim little things out here and there. Like for instance, I trimmed down the Satan's blood, like parts where he was just like completely almost unconscious, where he was just laying there and he's like moaning. I cut that stuff down. He had so many bathroom trips, I cut that down, but it was a pain in the ass. So now I take notes, and I'll tell you, when I go back to March, the notes are pretty extensive. Like I'll write down break, cut this, cut that. Tonight I have two things. I they're just ring. An hour 36 minutes, add ring. An hour and 38 minutes, add ring. Sometimes I write sound things, like 2 hours and something. Outside noise ? Like I heard a noise outside. Like, do I mute that? And then there was some weird. There was that comment about like exploiting Perry, and I write a ? next to it. I was like, exploit comment ? I'm like, do I and then that's usually I'll look at it again, and do I want to cut it? That one I'll probably leave. But that's it. That's my whole notes. So obviously that'll be very easy. And I just course correct the audio because for some reason all of the streams have a 4 millisecond offset that I always correct. And then so if I go back earlier, it's hard to see my notes because this notebook was covered in champagne, so some of them are bleedy. Oh, then I'll write down when he does, like the times where he takes his camera and goes into the kitchen or something like that. I'll write like hour 20 minutes Perry video, so I'll know when to put it in. I use whatever pen is around. I don't have a special. I used to have a nice pen and I lost it. So it's like sunglasses. I used to buy nice sunglasses and I would always lose them, so I stopped buying nice sunglasses. So I don't have a nice pen. But anyway, that falls on me. I know I fell behind on YouTube, but trust me when I say I'm going to catch up in July, I'm going to catch up.
And just to answer, I think it was Dimitri Moreland's question about instituting a delay. It is, and Tom may have addressed this before, it's one of the kind of foibles of streaming in general is that you can't. Just kind of the general mechanics of streaming that you really couldn't. And so that is something we contend with, but at this point I think we've gotten pretty good. And there's, some things that maybe used to scare us before don't necessarily scare us as much now. And so, it would be nice to have a delay button, but it's just not feasible.
It's a really glaring omission that they don't have that.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's $1 million idea because I know that if we found a way to do it, we could probably retire and do PCL full time.
Yeah, because there would be no worries, and it's like, cause that's one of the things where people ask me like, oh, what's the deal with Perry's earpiece? It's the new people. Well, number one, he hears me more clearly because if you notice when he doesn't have it, he talks over me. It's hard, and when we're basically through Skype, even with Scott and I, it's hard because there's a little bit of a delay and everything. So me being piped into his earpiece, he hears me even if he goes to the bathroom. If he goes out in the hallway, he hears me. And one of the things that I don't do it anymore, but I used to get really nervous when somebody chides him about gay or not so much 1992 stuff, but you're gay or I want to be inside you stuff. I used to get very nervous because here's where he's going to snap and say a bad word. So I used to be in his ear. I'd be like, it's okay, calm down, no problem. Don't get too worked up. And that's just me saying, please don't say the wrong word. But it's less of a thing now because I think it's almost been. And to give him credit. And I think Perry deserves a lot of credit for a lot of things in relation to this stream. That is one thing he deserves a ton of credit for, is he hasn't done that. We have not had that. We've had moments where he catches himself. There was something tonight where he caught himself doing something. I was he was in the middle of a rage and then he stopped. And I wasn't even in his ear at that point. I was like, because normally I would look at that and be like, I'll look back at that like, oh, I must have been saying something to him, but I wasn't saying anything to him. And I was like, oh, what did you catch? And then when he started answering, I was like, no, I don't even want to know. Let's not go down that road. Belushi, the notes beside him about the no words, no. I did not ask him to write those down and paste them up. That's him. Perry's very note-based. He writes things down, and I think it's part of his issue with short-term memory is he's learned to write himself notes. Almost like the guy in Memento, in a way. That's like where his joke cards come from, like writing down, he writes things down. He writes his appointment for, he's got a dentist appointment tomorrow. He writes that down. He writes things that needs to be committed to memory. So that's what I like. I don't know if he's erased the word, but he's come real close. It doesn't happen. I don't even hear it in our personal conversations. But anyway, I think Scott and I need to go. Scott, you need to be up early. I need to be up early. But this was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I obviously appreciate all you guys and girls. And also just a big thank you for all the well-wishing for my girlfriend, Kaylin, when she broke her arm.
How is Kaylin?
And she says thank you. She's good. She's very good. She's got the hard cast off, so, she's doing okay. And a special thank you to the people who sent in the comments about Perry killing the horse. Made her laugh really, really hard. But no, I appreciate all the support. And thank you again for making this a thing that we can really help Perry with. Because, when I got involved here, things weren't great. And Tom was doing his best. And I think we've done a 180. So as long as Perry can continue to pay down his debts and support himself, and hopefully build a retirement, because that's my next long-term goal is to help him build a retirement.
Right, nest egg, which he doesn't have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he has nothing. You guys know that. I mean, he's got nothing. So, thanks for all the well-wishing. Thanks for letting me be on the stream tonight, and I've enjoyed this too, Tom.
Yeah, we'll do it again. And I'll just to tag on that, and this is to your credit, is you were one of the people that really pushed me to do this Twitch thing, which I was hesitant on for many reasons, but the core of it wasn't to do it for even any kind of we didn't know what it was going to become or anything, but it was really to help Perry out. And also the one thing I've noticed in the past 6-7 months is my stress level has just about disappeared. I mean, I have stress in terms of doing the streams, and sometimes stress during the streams where he goes crazy, but I had such a hard time sleeping last summer into last fall because I was literally running out of money. The account I was using to pay Perry's bills was just about drained, and I was panicking. At how am I going to take care of myself plus him, and I think it added years to my life. And I have other stress, obviously, like everybody does, but I don't have that particular stress. I don't have that panic anymore. And I have to thank you, Scott. I have to thank Hero and Joey, the moderators, and I have to thank every single person who has ever sent in a tip comment, subscribed to the channel, even subscribed to Patreon, whatever, bought a cameo, anything like that, because it's just helped tremendously. And I really mean that sincerely, because that was the core of all this, was to help Perry. That before anything else, before making things entertaining for people, before making this a lifestyle thing for people, because some people make it's like they live based on our schedule, which is amazing. But that's ground zero for doing all this, was helping Perry, and that's that we do, because we love Perry. That's one of the things I hate when people say, in order to work with Perry you have to hate him. Like Gavin McGinnis says that. It infuriates me because it's not true. And I don't think I think once in a blue moon you'll see somebody in the chat that like legitimately hates Perry, but they're in the minority. I think most people love him like we do.
Yeah, and if you truly hate Perry, if that's really how you feel, you don't understand him. you don't understand him, and you don't understand the dynamic of the relationship between him and the fans. You know, that's just the facts of it. So, yeah, and again, more credit goes to you for what you've done for him in the past, 4 or 5 years now. But I'm just really excited
Who's counting?
to continue on this great track, man.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, thank you, everybody. I'm going to jump off.
All right.
Thanks for chatting.
Scott. I'm going to jump off too. Good night. That was cool. But yeah, more to that point is that's what it's about. So I'm gonna call it a night as well. And I want to do this more. Like, we'll do more calls when I get the new set. I keep saying that, but I got to get this whole office set up. I'm actually getting an office pod for my backyard, and that's going to be my voiceover studio for work, and also I'm going to use it for this. And once that's set up, it's got to be delivered and everything. It's a whole fucking fiasco. I had to get a permit for it and everything. But once that's set up, I will have a camera, and I think these after hours will be very different. I think that's the answer is I'm not going to create a new channel. I'll just change the title, and we can hang out, take calls. I can't promise it every stream, but you know how it goes. We do quite a bit, and I promise for all the people hitting me up about the YouTube thing, I know, believe me, I know it's behind, and it's not me being lazy. It's just me having a ton of shit on my plate. But thanks, guys. I'll see you Wednesday. Come hook or by crook. I'll be in my new place. There might be some noise or something, because I don't know where. I'm not gonna have a dedicated office for a few weeks. You always wanted the outdoor sauna on The Price is Right. Yeah, that thing always looked pretty cool. That and they had this really 80s hot tub that they would always have on The Price is Right that I want. I want a hot tub too. But again, all these things cost money, and I'm putting a ton of money into the office pod. I'm legitimately going into debt for the office pod, like to a scary degree. So, I need a lot of things to work. So it's fucking, like I said, everything's expensive. We want to build up the channel. We want to do, the more computers and graphical shit, and it'll happen. It's just, piecemeal. Joey says, being a part of PCL is excellent. I hope it only goes up. It will, Joey. It will. Well, it's definitely going to go up. It's definitely going to go. We're gonna do it. We got a great community, and I think Scott said, or somebody said, it's so many communities are so toxic. Whatever it is, whatever you find, whether it's a stream or a YouTube personality or a podcast, there's always toxic, and this has very little of it. So. Bless this community. Yeah, it's a great community we bought for ourselves, and everybody here deserves credit for that. So, wish me luck tomorrow with my move and everything. I got to be up bright and early. And again, thanks to Faster Blade and Cha Cha for the food. Super, super unexpected, and then a dozen done. Thank you for the Jameson. That will be enjoyed for some. I'm going to have it tomorrow, the first night in my new place. I will have a little bit of that tomorrow, and it was great. Thank you. It's hilarious that from the outside this would look like a toxic community, but it couldn't be more opposite. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people that drive the comments are like that Elon Musk guy really turns the knife sometimes, but I don't know. There's something about him. I like him. He made some comment tonight with weight loss between me and Perry. He's like, hey Tom, how are you going to do that when you're 350 pounds and Perry's like 200? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I kind of appreciate the dickishness of it. I don't know, because he's so whatever. There's some people that can be nasty, whatever, and I think mods take care of that, and they get out they'll say something nasty about Perry or me or whatever. I don't know. I know some people didn't find him funny at all. For some reason, I don't know. I didn't care. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I've got an enormously thick skin. The things that bother me are like real stuff, And look, here's the thing I'll say, and this goes for anybody. This goes for you guys. It goes for anybody who does anything on the internet. I don't care how many you know, whether you have a YouTube channel with 12 subscribers or 12,000 or whatever, if you're getting trolled by like literally 2% of your overall audience, you're doing something right. It's okay. There's people that get trolled 100%. Those who shall remain nameless. Look at Darkside Phil. Perry's different. I can't include him in that category. But we're fine. We're fine. Yeah, those neighbors shut up. You don't hear them anymore, do you? They went inside real quick. I gotta say that felt really good, because it's not the first time they've pulled this. Yeah, Joey's on them with like right on rice. It's so funny. There's times where like I don't look at the chat. It's hard for me to pay attention to the chat 100% of the time. I don't, but I do glance at it sometimes, and I'll see something that's like really off base. I'm like, ooh, that's weird. And then I'll look, and then I'll try to find it. And what I'll do is I'll either try to take a picture of it or I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to like one of them. Like, hey, we should look at this guy or whatever. And it's already gone. It's completely gone. So Joey's always on top of it. Perry writes like notes for himself. Does he still do this? Yeah, like somebody brought up a little earlier, like like words. He has a list of no words. He has, and again, it's because he fell for so many computer scams. But I kind of off topic. I kind of get what Perry's saying now about taking out the garbage, because I've had this bag of McDonald's sitting in my office, and it really is like making me sick. So I do got to throw it. I got to take out the garbage. I got to go. Don't keep me here anymore. But yeah, like he writes notes about if somebody calls you, it's somewhere, it was on his desk when I was there. It was like, if you receive a call with an Indian voice, do not let them go on your computer. Explanation point, because, fool me 6 times, shame on you. Thanks, Cha-Cha. I love you too. I really do. You were great to me when I was at Perry's, and you were great to me my final night at this place. And my fridge is pretty much empty too. Since I'm moving. So you were a lifesaver tonight, and you were a lifesaver then. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, guys. I'm gonna say goodnight, and I'll see you on. Well, I won't see you, but I'll see. I'll see you, hear from you, whatever, on Wednesday, and we'll do it all over again. Thanks, guys.